Oh, Mr. Alange.
Mr. Horwitz, how are you?
Good.
Baruch Hashem, wonderful.
I sent you the last night's stuff on the message. Did you see it?
About tonight's shir, you mean?
No, the one from yesterday because you were not in.
I was in last night. I heard the whole thing.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
Oh.
I came a little bit late, but I'm okay. But I got in.
Okay.
I got in. Thank you. No, I got the shir. I have the shir anyhow. I always prepare it. I try to prepare ahead of time. So
You're a good boy.
I got plenty of time today. I'm quarantined, so we got stuck.
Why?
I'm stuck for about 10 days.
You got COVID?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So I'm stuck. What can I do? I had shots too, so I'm okay. So I have plenty of time to learn the daf.
You got the third one?
No, I didn't get it. That's the problem. I was going to get it. I was going to get it, but I didn't know where to get it. So anyway, my wife got it today with my daughter. They got it third shot. It's okay. Be all right.
Okay. I hope you get okay soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Perek Yud Gimel, Beitzah Yud Gimel.
Wait, Ernie. Okay, it's recording. Okay.
Okay. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Huda. According to everyone, you can roll the wheat to take the kernels off on Yom Tov. Well, according to that, then there'll be situations where you might be able to separate truma even on Yom Tov. Rabbi will hold that there's truma by malilos, and our Mishnah that said that there's no case like that is Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Huda. Where do we see this? The Tanya Hichnish Shibol Lasos Man Isa. Person brought in wheat stalks into the house before piling them up into a mound. So once you pile stalks into a mound, it's called dogon, and you're chayav truma. But he brought stalks in directly to make wheat. You can eat temporarily from this product, from the wheat before you grind it, and it's potter, but not truma. It's not. There's no gemar malacha yet. Now, if you brought it in for purposes lemoilan b'malilos, that you want to roll them in your fingers and take the kernels out, Rabbi Machayev, Rabbi will be Machayev Parshas Truma, even on Yom Tov. And Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda Poiter. So our mission is Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda Nami Mishkachas Law could also work on Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda Kagon. Sheichni Shibon Lasos Man Isa. You also brought the stalks in to make a dough. V'nimla Chalem. You changed your mind. L'molon b'yontev. The tavla b'yomi. Once you started, it made it tevel, and then even according to Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda, you have to take truma. So what did we mean? Elamai truma, rav truma. It means majority of cases you don't take truma, but there will be exceptional cases where you will. And Abaya learns Amar by machloikas b'shi boiling. This machloikas between Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda is regarding stalks of wheat. Aval b'kidnios, but with legumes. And you bring in like bunches of legumes, it becomes tevel. They're called osraiso tivla, because that's the normal way of bringing like scallions or carrots or other legumes into the house. So lema messiah mishai l'chavile tilson shel tevel. Tilson is like watercress. You had bunches of this, and you had not separated truma yet. Hareza kotesh, you can chop it up. Umechashev kama zer yesh b'hem, you can sort of estimate how much seeds come out of this. And you can then separate truma based on the seed. You don't have to count the branches. Now, my love, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, the Amar Hasam loy tivla hacha tivla. Is this the sheet of Rabbi Yosef that he said over by wheat? It's not tevla, but here it is tevla. Versus low Rebbe. It doesn't have to be Rabbi Yosef. It could be Rebbe too. Rebbe Ma'ir Tilson. I mean, Rebbe allows even wheat. Not right. Afilu shibolim nami. Elamai. What are you going to say, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda? So what is going to chiddush? Lishmin and sharmin ekidis for kol shekein til. This means all other legumes and certainly watercress. No, tilson is tzrichle. The chiddush is for the watercress because why would I think not? Sal kedai dechamin oil v'tam eitzo pir yoshaveh. Watercress, the taste of the leaves, the taste of the bark are the same. So lifresh nami yaitzo. So I might think you can't calculate how much truma to give just by counting the seeds. You'd have to measure the wood as well, the volume of it, whatever, to be able to come up with the right amount. Kamash Balad that no, just by counting the seeds is okay. Ikidiyami, other people learn this dialogue a little differently. That Amar Abai Machloikas B'Shibolin, the Machloikas between Rebbe and Rabbi Yossi is by wheat. Aval B'Kitnius Divra Kolos Raisa Lo Tivla. When you bring them in bunches, it's not tevel, and therefore it doesn't require truma. So on that, this Baraisa asks a kasha. If someone has bunches of watercress, you're going to have to take truma. So you see, it is tevel. You can pound it and calculate how much mafish al zerv, mafish al eitz. My love tevel tovel shel truma. So you see, it's tevel. So the Gemara says we're not talking about real truma. We're talking about trumas meiser. Tevel tovel shel trumas meiser. This is an example where the Levi took meiser before the Balabaya separated truma. The din is the Levi has to give trumas meiser 1/10 to the kohen, but it's exempt from regular truma. So when we talk about truma here, it's talking about trumas meiser. K'drav aval Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Rav aval Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Meiserishan shigdimu b'shibolim. You brought stalks in. You have not piled it up into a mound yet. And the Levi took meiser from that. So the fact shmo toivloi, the trumas meiser. The shame meiser already makes a tevel, at least regarding trumas meiser. The Levi cannot eat what he took without giving trumas meiser to the kohen. So the Gemara says, why did you have to tell me the case of koitesh that you said that if he plans to chop it up, he has to calculate. So why did you have to give me the case of koitesh? In any case, it's trumas meiser. Listen, just like I took this way, you take this way. No, knasa. The Levi, when he gives trumas meiser, the kohen has to give it after it's been prepared. It's a gzeira. We make a knas because he shouldn't have taken his meiser before giving the truma. So he has to be mafresh everything, kitsuraso, he has to fix it, he has to take the seeds off, and only then separate the trumas meiser. It's a knas.
Could the kohen say to the guy, I'll take it with the stock on, you won't have to do it if you give it to me? Or does it have to be, in other words, why would
the kohen do it? It's much harder that way.
No, because he'll get it. He'll take it. It's beneficial for the body.
He's going to get it prepared.
No, but he'll give it to a different kohen will get it, because this man has the right to give it to any kohen he wants, and somebody can come and bribe you. So I'll take it with the stock on. This way you won't have to bother. This way the kohen.
Chazal made a knas that the Levi took the meiser before the truma was given. We knas him and say, now you can't give him just with the stocks. You've got to prepare it. Take the seed.
I understand. Let's say a kohen comes to, because the kohen gets it first. Let's say whatever it is.
The Levi can't eat the meiser until he gives the trumas meiser.
Okay,
and that meiser has to be given as a knas in a prepared form.
But can the Levi bribe the guy and say, I'll take it this way without you having to bother it? This way, he gets it, or it's a pasuk that says you have to give it. There's no
Levi.
conditional.
What do you mean the Levi bribe? Who's bribing who? The Levi?
You're bribing
Levi has
the
to
balabus.
The Levi took his miser.
But he gave it. He take his miser from this
stock.
particular laver. This guy could give it to any laver he wants, right?
We took it, and
He
now
lived
the
by- he-
miser,
he
and
was
now the
giv-
miser is the Levi's.
No, he was given the miser by the balabus, and balabus can choose any laver he wants to give it to.
No, the Levi took it. The Levi took it.
It says that they would gave it to me. It says kihecha de havali haviyavil. Just like they gave it to me in that condition, I'm going to give it to the Kohen.
Okay, so let's say even in a case where the Balabayas gave him the Meiser,
right?
But the Levi, it's Tevel for the Levi until he gives Trumas Meiser. The Levi can't do anything with that Meiser. He has to give Trumas Meiser to a Kohen.
But I'm saying, can the Levi make it conditional that in order to bribe the balabus, that I'll take it any condition?
Getting around the knas. Why would he's getting around the knas that Chazal put on him? He can't get around a knas.
That he should get it instead of another Levi. That's right, because the guy has a right to give it to any Levi he wants to give it to. Can't the balabus give it to? So this Levi comes along. He says, "I'll take it without you having to bother with it, and I'll take it."
He took it not when it was piled up in the Kri yet. Once he's not allowed to take it at that point. If it's before the Kri, we'll see it's not called Dogon. So therefore, if the Levi ends up with the Meiser, no Truma is given from that pile. Because there's a Pasuk, Trumas Meiser, and not regular Truma Gedoyla.
So the balabus has to give another
No,
batch.
there's no Truma given. If you started off with 100 stocks, normally Truma is 1/50th. So normally the Truma would be 2 out of 100. But the Levi here took 10 out of the 100. Now there's 90. No Truma has to be given from that 90. So in the end, the coin gets cuffed. It's a problem.
Right.
So because the Levi did that, the Chazal gave him a knas,
Right.
that now he has to prepare the material the way it's supposed to be prepared before he gives Trumas Meiser. He can't give it from the stocks.
Okay.
That's the Bahalach here.
Right. Okay.
And there's a brisa like that. Tani Namahachi. Ben Levi Shanasalo Shibolim b'Masreisav. Shibolim means it's still in the stalks. They haven't taken the kernels off and piled it up in a cream. Once it's done that, the Levi cannot take Meiser Rishon first and it's putter from Truma. No. This only happened because it was the Shibolim, it was the stalks. So the din is, when he has to give Trumas Meiser to the Kohen, Oisa Oisan Goyren, he has to now take the kernels off and prepare it the way it's supposed to be before you give it to the Truma. It's on the Levi to do. And if the material was on Novim, Oisa Oisan Yayin, you are required to make wine out of it. That's the knas. You're required to process the grapes to wine. And zeisim, if it was olives, oisos on shemen. And then mafresh aleim trumas meiser, b'noisen lekoim. Shekashem shetruma gedoyla ein any telas. Elam and agorim and ayekev. Truma is given after it's in the goyren, the place where the kernels are taken off the stalk, and it's all nigmar. It's called dogon tirosh v'yitzar. Tirosh is wine, yitzar is shemen. Kachtrumas meiser, and he tells them an agorm and ayek. Okay, so we learned a new halacha regarding this today. Freit the Gemara mechashev. The Baraisa said that you can look at these stalks and you can sort of make an estimation through thought how much seeds you have to take off, but you don't have to mamish count it. What do you mean? I'm a Dita boy. What do you mean? There's shiurim here. It's got to be 1/10 or 1/50th. You got to count it. So the Gemara says, Hamani Abba Elazar ben Gimeli. It's a special Tana, Abba Elazar ben Gimel, that says you don't have to count or measure. The Tanya Abba Elazar ben Gimel Oimer, the pasuk says v'nechshav lachem trumaschem. You can do it b'machshava, b'shtei trumas hakozim b'dor, achas truma gdol, v'achas trumas meiser. Kishem she-trumas gdol, and he tells b'oimer v'machshava. Truma gdol can be given sort of with estimation. Kach trumas meiser, and he tells b'oimer v'machshava. Same thing with trumas meiser. In fact, the Rambam paskins, ein mafrishin truma b'mido b'mishkol b'minyan, elo oimet b'daito shir shirot z'lafrish v'noisen. You can estimate, you come up with a shear, and that's what you give. That's how the Rambam paskins. Gufa. Gufa always means, now we're going to evaluate something in detail, that which we mentioned in passing. Amr Vav Amr Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Ma'aser Rishon shekdimu b'shibolim. This was the case where the Levi took, or the Balabais gave him Ma'aser Rishon before the kernels have been taken off the stalk and piled up in a pile. Rather, the Levi took it when it was still in the stalks. Shmoi toivlo the trumas meiser. The shem meiser makes it tevel for the Levi that he can't eat it until he gives trumas meiser. By time Amar Rava, hoil the yotzal of shem meiser. It's got the shem meiser because there was a kriyas hashem, and therefore once there's a shem meiser, the Torah says vari moiser mimenu meiser and a meiser. Rashi says, Mishikanikra Meiser is equal to the also. The Shem Meiser is what establishes the Chiyuv for Trumas Meiser. Amr Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Meiser Rishon Shekdimu b'Shibolim, Potter miTruma Gedola, like I said. The Levi comes out of 100, he took 10. The 2 that normally is taken from 100 doesn't have to be given. Why? Shenemar, Vari Moshe Mimenu Trumas Hashem Meiser Min HaMaser. In that case, when the meiser is given first, you're only chayiv trumas meiser, but truma gdol you're not chayiv. So the kohen loses out. So why doesn't that work? That means even if they took the kernels off, piled it up in a pile. So why, if the Levi at that point takes meiser, why isn't truma gdol a potter? A pasuk that says, from all of your meisers, you shall give truma. So the Gemara says, well, Mora says, where's the law? I mean, where do you see from this pasuk what we had just asked? This mikol masrei seichem, that it refers to that it's only if you were magdim prior to the Kri. Maybe you could say the opposite. Gemara says no. This is we've seen this many times in Shas. High idgin, v'high loy idgin. It's got to be called dogon. Once you piled it up, it's called dogon, and that's it. And you have to give trumas from it says reishis degoncha, and it's chalalev the din of truma gedola. So you can't get around it at that point. The other, when it's still in the stalks, it's not called dogon, and therefore there's no chalois of a choivas truma on stalks that haven't been piled up in a kri. Okay, it's not awesome. I'm a kalif so'orim. You're gonna eat on yontif. You want to peel some barley and eat it. So you have to do it achas for oichel. If you do a lot of it, and not only that, you're not chayv meiser, because it was like a temporary eating. If you peeled it and put it in your hand, or many of them together, so chayiv. So then you have to be chayiv meisris, because then it becomes a large amount, and it's like koveya suda. That means there's no isra malach if I peel one by one. It's not dosh. But if I do it with hand to hand and I do a whole bunch, so then I violated the malachos of disha, dosh. Rav's wife used to peel him on Shabbos, cups and cups of peeled barley. Rav Chia ben Kafalei Dvisu Kasika, same thing, the wife of Rav Chia. Ella I Itmar Asefer Itmar. This statement was said not on the Reisha, but on the Sefer, which was Hamoilel Malilo Shel Chitim. Malilo is when you take wheat and then you sort of crush it with your hand until the outer klipa falls off, and then you blow. Well, here you don't blow. Menafech al yad, by passing it from hand to hand, the stalk falls off. You can't use a kli. The oichel, and you'd be able to eat it at that point without giving meiser, because again, it's like it's not keva, it's aroy, it's achilas aroy. If you have a lot of it, and you blew it into your chest, where you're holding a whole bunch of it, a big amount, so then that's keva and chayiv in meiser. And on this, Amar Rabbi Elazar v'chein l'Shabbos. And this is what he meant, that if you do it on Shabbos, you're going to be violating a malacha. Maski for Rabbi Barman, the Reisha. So in the Reisha l'meiser in l'Shabbos lo, you rejected saying v'chein l'Shabbos regarding the Reisha. Well, why not? You're peeling barley. Why shouldn't it be the same thing? V'chein l'Shabbos. How come in the Reisha it's Shabbos lo? Is there an example where an avodah is not considered gemar malacha regarding Shabbos, but it's considered gemar malacha regarding Meiser? It's not. So it should be v'chein l'Shabbos even for the Reisha. So masking Rav Sheshes Brei Ravidi. What do you mean velo? I'll show you an example where what's considered gemar malacha for Meiser purposes is not considered gemar malacha when it comes to Isser Shabbos. The hagarnan l'Meiser. This whole what is considered goyren, right? What's considered that it becomes dogon for Meiser. This not ezeu garnan l'Meiser. So what triggers Meiser? So depends on what we're talking about. Hakishuin vadluin. These are like zucchinis, pumpkins, watermelon. They have this thick hair is mishayafkasu. If you remove the hair around these items, then it's called goyren. And then there's a trigger, you have to give meiser at that point. Prior to that, you don't. Shalo piksuf, you didn't take the hair off, mishiyamid arema. Rashi kloimer vim achlo posko hemid arema, that means you created a large pile of it, like a kri. So then it's a hook, then it's kva. So amodas arama, piling it up is considered gemar malacha regarding meiser. But we'll see by Inyan Shabbos, when you bring onions into your house, placing them in a pile is not considered a malacha. So you see there's a different standard when it comes to what triggers meiser versus what triggers isser malacha. Right? It's now nami gabes b'tselim regarding onions. Mishiyamid arema. Onions is also meiser is when you pile it up. But vila gabi Shabbos amod arema potter. But there's no isser malacha by piling up onions on Shabbos. So el meiser chalamemer. Maybe Shabbos has a higher standard because why? Melechas machshavas asra toim. The Torah just didn't asr malacha. It asred something called melechas machshavas. You know, Rashi says melechas umanut, a professional kind of malacha. Why? Because nismacha parsha Shabbos melechas mishkan, and all the works in the Mishkan was a melechas machshavas. Wasn't just stam malacha. Achanami melechas machshavas asr Torah. So in a chanami, that's the things that are considered gemar malacha. And your meiser would not be considered gemar malacha regarding Shabbos because of the concept of melechas machshavas. Okay, interesting sugya. Kate said moila. Now, how does he do this malila process regarding wheat? Abai mishmei Rav Yosef Omer chada chada. one finger at a time. He puts the kernels between two fingers and rolls. Rav Avi is Rav Yezra Chada Tarti, one with two fingers. Rav Amr, listen, Kevin de Mishani Fil Chada Kulanami. As long as you do a shinui, one finger with the rest of the fingers will also work. Because it's a shinui from the regular. You normally use a kli for this. You pound it. Ketzah ben apech. Now, neficha, how do you do it in a muterdik way on Shabbos? Amrav adabarav amarav min apech mikishrei etzba'osav l'mala, from the tips of your fingers. You can't put them in your palm. You got to do by the fingers. It's a shinui. However, machku Allah b'marava, they laughed at him in Eretz Yisrael. Since it's a shinu, you could use your whole hand. In fact, you can use your whole hand with all your strength, and you're not choishes that it's malach on Shabbos. Okay. So tomorrow is